Lightwater Valley is definitely a park that is it's doing something. It's doing something. I don't know what it's doing. Recently purchased by the people that own Brighton Pier. We're really expecting massive things from Lightwater Valley over the next couple of years. Hopefully a resurrection of the park. But if you're in the park now, what would you be keeping and what would you be ditching? Now, the park have a lot of children's family attractions. And don't get me wrong, I don't necessarily think they're well themed, but in terms of the attraction, which is what we're looking at, what would I keep, what would I ditch? Well, let's start with the ones I would keep. Elephant Flight, the kangaroos, the carousel, all really non-offensive rides. Quite fun as well for the little ones. Definitely ones we would keep in the park. The hot air balloons, love these. Splash Falls, the dragon boats, again, work really, really well for the demographic that they're looking at. And if I owned the park, I'd understand keeping these rides anyway, even if I had more thrilling attractions. So for me, they're going to stay. The kids' rides are then topped off with Skull Rock. And then whilst we're down at Skull Rock, let's look at the other rides that are down there. The pirate ship, the Flying Cutlass, is definitely one I would keep in the park. Love the location of it, love the look of it, and that area is probably the park's best themed area. Right down here as well is the Powder Kegs. And I would keep this. I would keep this. This breakdance ride could be run better anyway, but I love these type of rides and I think they work really well for people looking to step up to the bigger attractions. Now, that's not to say that all their new investments are ones I would keep. There are certainly some on the ditch list as well from the new area. The Savannah Express is a complete waste of time and is not something I would be seen having in my theme park. Add the Animal Carnival, exactly the same boat, not something I would like to be seen. And even other rides around it like Clown Around, I just don't think there's a place for these outside of seaside resorts. And indeed Eagle Creek's Farm, which when it opened initially and they had real animals in there, was a delight to go around. Going around on this and looking at plastic animals with, bearing in mind what it used to be, is not something I'd have in my park. Now then, whilst we're in that area, we have two other rides in Trauma Towers, which is a brilliant double-sided little sort of bouncing tower, one I would 100% keep at the park. And of course, Eagle's Claw, which did open in 2021 after the park said it wouldn't. So although it's not listed on the map, and it's not listed as being closed, it's at the park and working. So we've included it, and we've included it because it's easily the best KMG afterburner we have in the UK. Brilliant ride, and is one I would be keeping. I'm flabbergasted they're even considering getting rid of it. If I'm in the park, I'd be keeping it. We've lost quite a lot of rides from the park that I would have kept if I was running it over the last few years, but they're not there, so we can't include them. But rides I would have joined that include the Waltzer. No place at a theme park for the Waltzer, and that includes the Alton Towers one as well. No place at a theme park for a Waltzer. It needs to go. It needs to be ditched. I would be ditching it if I run Lightwater Valley. This would also be joined by the Wave Rider, whereas the Wave Swinger we would keep. The Sky Swinger, Sky Rider is an incredible wave swinger, a real highlight as you walk into the park, and one I would be keeping. Now, coaster-wise, we don't have a lot. We technically still have 3 in the park, which is the Little Dipper, harmless little ride. I have no problem with the Caterpillar being in Lightwater Valley. I would in some other major theme parks, but Lightwater Valley, I would keep it if I run the park. It fits the area in which it's in. And of course, Ladybird as well, which is a fantastic little coaster. I really enjoy Ladybird, and I'm pleased they've kept it, and I would keep it in the park as well. And of course, that brings us to the close, with one ride left, which is technically still part of Lightwater Valley, so I'm including it. And I'm including it because I have a feeling that I'm going to want it in my top 40. That, of course, is the Ultimate. Europe's longest roller coaster, the second longest roller coaster in the world, a ride of 2 halves. I would be going all out to have this ride open, and I'd be going all out as well to get the restraints changed so this can have a lower height restriction. If I own the park, the Ultimate is staying and is still a massive highlight for me. But what would you do if you own Lightwater Valley? Let us know in the comments below which rides you keep and which rides you would ditch. Again, not retheme, just ones you would keep and ones you would ditch from the recent lineup. Join us next time for our final one from Flamingo Land before we go into what would build our top 40 and our wildcard rides. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.